All right, good afternoon. This is the day that the Lord has made. Yes, you bet it is. It also happens to be Prayer's 18th birthday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Prayer's my homeboy. Prayer's my G. Guy.
Yeah,
He's my fam, my little bro,
yeah.
my twin who came 3 years later. But yeah, so something really special happened. But before we get into that, prayer, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing great. Shout out to all the viewers out there. I'm feeling wonderful. 18 is just it's fresh. It's a new season. It's a new vibe.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's
Talk
amazing.
to us more about that new season thing. What does a birthday? What does this new year mean to you?
What does it mean to me? Okay. So first of all, I'll start by just kind of recapping where I'm coming from, as far as birthdays are concerned. In the past, I felt like, birthdays were just like, getting presents and stuff. Then I came to a point where I was like, does it really matter? Like, it's just another day where people just appreciate you. But I was taught the significance of the birthday goes beyond just the day of birth and commemorating it. It's a significance in that it shows a new season that you're stepping into.
Hmm.
So for me, it's really something that stands out. Like, each birthday that I have is a new season that I'm going into,
Wow.
which is just so refreshing.
Wow, wow. So having said that and having kind of experienced and had to learn and relearn and revalue and appreciate what a birthday really means, what's something that you've come to say on my birthday, this thing has to happen?
Okay, so I feel my relationship with God is the most important thing in my life. Over the years, I've found, people can only understand you so much. There's only so much your parents can do for you. Only so much people can offer you. But when your connection with God is at its peak, when it's strong, and when you start things with God, it's rooted in God, and God is the source. So you're plugged in to the source that never dries out. So it's just flowing and it's flowing and it's flowing. So that's kind of something that I always do, is to always just pray and commit my new year to God.
Wow.
Have time to spend with God, read the Word, and yeah, just hear from Him as well. Pours out to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something that I've made. Um, yeah,
Okay.
something that I have to do, that just has to happen.
On your birthday. Wow. That's amazing. And it's amazing how that's also just so not dependent on anyone else, right?
Yeah.
That's a decision that you make as an individual, and stuff. So that's powerful. So another thing that I really just wanted us to key into that, prayer has done for his 18th birthday. So of course our family is about surprises every now and then, but we're also sensitive to maybe figuring out what the individual themselves really wants, because we also want to be relevant to their needs. So, for example, last year we had asked mom what she wanted for her birthday, and she just wanted to spend time with the family. So we could have surprised her and done something big for her 50th year, but that really wouldn't have met her at her point of need and satisfied her. So prayer was actually asked the same this year, leading up to his 18th birthday, to say, "Hey, what would you like for your 18th birthday?" And I'm not gonna break it to everyone. I'm gonna allow you to tell us what your answer to that question was.
All right, so don't freak out. Don't freak out. Yeah. So instead of having your classic birthday situation, I just asked that I be taken to driving school. So I can get into driving. You know what I'm saying? I've been dreaming about this for a minute, and it's just gonna help the family in so many different ways. Having how many drivers is such a blessing. So yeah, 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 yeah. You see me on the road.
Awesome. And that's amazing, because it might seem like it's such a, like, oh my goodness, like you want to go to driving school, you don't want a party, but that is such an investment. That's a lifelong investment, right? Because when you get that license, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping the family, you're helping the places that you're positioned in, and you're making life easier for others. So what you have basically done is that you've positioned yourself to continue to be a blessing in asking for this, right? Because today people are going to appreciate you, right? Say everything that you've been to them and stuff like that. But what are you doing today to make sure you even do better? So by the time we're getting to next year, people have so much more. You bring so much more value, right, to other people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By choosing to do this. So you might not even realize it and see it like that. But what you have done is that you've basically said, thank you, God, for how far you've brought me. Thank you, everyone, for these amazing things that you have for me. Now, prayer, let's level up. Let's step it up. You know what I mean, eh? So, yo, G, like,
Hey.
that's awesome. That's
Oh,
awesome. What
man.
you've done is awesome.
Hey.
I've personally been inspired to just see him and an individual in this world, in this nation, in this family at 18, guys. Like 18 people are planning their birthdays. Maybe now, not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, they're planning chills and oh,
Right
tonight
on.
it's gonna be lit. But you know, you have decided to have this investment be made into who you are, and that is salute to you for making that decision. That's amazing. So I just want, as we just conclude this, for you to just say something to, we're gonna just say your fellow teenagers, maybe an 18-year-old out there, or just teenagers in general. What's something that has kept you going, something that's kept you grounded, something that you have learned that you just want to be able to share with them as we close?
Okay. Wow. Something. That's like one thing out of the plethora of things that I've learned. Yeah, but if there's anything really that I would just say, it's, don't take don't take things for granted that you have in your life. If you have good things, hold on to them, appreciate them as often as you can. If you have even one friend who's good, or one person who shows kindness to you, and you don't have anyone else, you don't need to, major on the minors. You
Mm.
need to you need to make sure you make the main thing the main thing. If someone makes you happy, do your best to, shout out, do your best to encourage them, do your best to appreciate them in different ways. And it's really important. Another thing that I can say is, you have to, once you make your goals in your life, one thing that's going to keep you anchored and headed in the direction of your goals is people. Obviously, you need the right people around you, so you have to choose what your priorities are. And once you set those priorities, they'll just help you reduce stress. Like when you say, my priorities are go to school, get a degree, get a house, everything's going to kind of be aligned to that. If you say, my priority is getting to know God more, then you're not going to have too much time to do other things. Like, say, for me, maybe watch series. So I have to give up watching series because my priority isn't watching series. My priority is a relationship, a closer relationship with God. Yes. So, what I can say is, investment. Make sure you invest, and when you invest in your priorities, invest with your all. Like, give it your all. Sacrifice what you need to sacrifice. Give up what you need to give up, and then also, yeah, investment and sacrifice. As long as you're chasing something, you're not going to be chasing something else. So you can't chase both of those things. So once you choose to chase this,
Wow.
then know that your sacrifice is on that. So even, so I'm an economist. One of the first things that we learn is opportunity cost. So what that basically means is the value of what you're doing now is what you could have been doing with your time,
Wow.
or what you could have been doing with whatever it is, maybe your money. So if you spend your money on, say, an iPhone, the value of that iPhone, maybe it's 3,000 kwacha, is the 3,000 kwacha that you could have spent on groceries, perhaps, just to give that example. So if you're spending your 2 hours on watching movies, the value of that is the 2 hours that you could have spent studying.
Mm.
So, it's about really prioritizing and looking at the opportunity cost, engaging, and, making the judgment call. Like, you have the power within you. You have the willpower. You have the ability to make that decision. Don't let anybody make you feel like you don't have the power,
Wow.
and don't play yourself down and make yourself feel like you don't have the ability to make that. Miles Monroe says something really powerful. He says, God, in all his splendor and his majesty and his brilliance, all powerful as he is, he gave mankind the ability of will, the ability to choose for yourself. God doesn't touch your will.
Mm.
So if you say, God, I want to pass, God will support you, but you got to do the work. So your will has to be aligned with what you want to do. And God will just back that. If you say, God, I want an A plus, but you're working like you're a D student, then God's going to back your D, not your A plus. So yeah, up your game. You can definitely do it. You can definitely go places.
Wow.
You got this. Um, yeah, that's for y'all.
Wow. Ish. Always
for
something to
y'all.
learn from you. Wow. It just reminds me so much of, I'm just looking back. Proverbs 19:20 says, continue to learn, continue to sit under instruction, that you may be counted among the wise in the latter days, whether you may be wise later on in life. Some versions put it differently. And there are moments in Prayer's early teenage years, he might not even remember. He'd be reading the Bible, he'd be doing all these things, and then he'd just feel like, what's the point of all of this? You know what I mean? He's quite expressive in his nature. So, he would open up and say, Shalom, I don't even know why I'm doing all of these things. You know what I mean? But looking at now, you invested your time in those things, like you were saying, and now it has counted, right? So sometimes it looks like you're just doing things and doing things and doing things, but trust me, something is happening. You're investing, and what a time to start to invest while you are young, while we are young, because I am young too. And now you can live to see the fruit of that investment, and not just live to see it, but live to enjoy it as well. So by the time the fruit of that is coming, you haven't lost all your strength to enjoy it now, but you're even enjoying it all the more now because you deliberately started while you were young. So I just salute you for just who you are and who you have decided to continue to become. Like your DP says, we always have a choice to make. We always have a decision to make in anything. So thank you for making the right decision. Thank you for making the right choice. Thank you for choosing God's best for you. Thank you, Caleb. Shout out to our cameraman. And we just wish you a happy 18th birthday, Prayer. I love you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What?